All right, so I went from relapsing on NoFap multiple times a week for over 2.5 years straight, from like November 2022 to May 2025, to now not even having fapped once in like 8, 9 months. And so in this video, I want to kind of like walk you through like what a normal day looks for me. Like I think yesterday was like day 250. I don't even remember, bro. 250 something, 6, 7, 8 maybe. So I'll kind of like walk you through what I do on like a regular basis and why I do that in terms of NoFap, but also just like my overall goals. So yeah, let's get started. So basically, I wake up at 4 a.m. these days, and the main reason that I wake up at 4 a.m. is that I want to have a lot of time before school that I can actually do the stuff that I want to do. And so, like one of my primary goals in life right now is to kind of like grow my channel, grow my community, and spread this message of NoFap and get more guys on this path and, resisting sexual urges and these kinds of things. So I wake up in the morning and I go out and I go into the woods because I love being in nature, but then also I like to record these kinds of videos in here. So I kind of like, I spend some time in the morning making these videos and maybe like editing them a little bit and setting everything up, making the thumbnail, that kind of stuff. And because that's like the biggest priority in my life right now. So that's why I do it first thing in the morning. And I don't want to do it at nighttime because like I don't want school or like the things that I do through the day to really take attention or energy from this. I want this to be the number one thing so that I make the best sort of educational videos that I can, and so on. And I also just fucking love being like an early bird and an early riser as opposed to being like a normal motherfucker who's waking up at like 8 or some bullshit like that. And it's just really peaceful being out here when nobody's awake. And yeah, man, I love it. I also think it's great for like dopamine detox to be waking up early and stuff because it's a bit hard, but you sort of collect your first win like that. You don't wake up at some other time like 8 or 9 a.m. and snooze and do that kind of stuff. You wake up before the sun rises, before the birds start singing, and you get the early boost, early momentum for the day. At least that's how I feel about it. And yeah, man, it just kind of puts me in this like disciplined mode, this relentless, fucking ruthless mode when I'm out like a hunter, like hungry for success. I really like the sort of the vibe or whatever you want to call it, the energy of waking up early. So yeah, I love it. And then straight when I wake up, I turn off my alarm and then I go into the bathroom and I have a cold shower. And I have a cold shower specifically for a couple of reasons. The main one being that it's difficult and I like challenging myself early in the morning and collecting that first win and building like psychological momentum. I really feel like that's a valuable thing to have, at least for me. And it's also like really good for your dopamine levels. And so dopamine is kind of like the molecule in your brain that regulates motivation. And so when you have a lot of dopamine in your system, you have a lot of motivation to pursue your goals, which is a great thing, I think, because it makes it more likely that you'll actually do the stuff that's required to get what you want, right? You have more motivation. And so cold exposure or like, hopping in a cold shower or having a cold bath, doing that actually has like a really fucking insane effect on your dopamine levels, nearly to the same degree as like these dopaminergic drugs like heroin or meth, for example. But instead of you getting a huge spike and like a peak, and then your motivation and your like energy levels plummeting down, like it does with all these like hard drugs, it is actually sustained for like 2.5 hours, like a huge increase in motivation. So I definitely feel like energized in these mornings, and yeah, I love this sort of just the energy of all of it. So yeah, bro, I like taking cold showers. Just like a 30-second thing, doesn't have to be extreme and stuff. But yeah, then I brush my teeth and I get my clothes on, I make my bed, and then I get my like this stuff on, my jacket and my hat and this little thing right here, my bandana. And then I go out into the woods. I go for a walk here, in these woods near where I live in my hometown here. And yeah, bro, it's really fucking peaceful. I love it. And then I sit down on one of the benches in like the park here, on like a big field, on like a meadow. And I do 20 minutes of meditation. I have done an hour for, like I did for about a month or two, an hour a day in the morning in like November and December last year. But I feel like, I want to do some more stuff in the morning. So I've decided to scale it down to 20 minutes, but I still feel like it's really valuable in terms of like your ability to make decisions and mindfulness and presence. I think meditation is a great tool. So meditation is kind of like when you sit down and you close your eyes and you breathe in and out and you bring your attention to like a specific point. It might, for example, be your breath, or it might be a physical sensation that you have. It might be, for example, something like external. It might be a specific point, like a star. You might be gazing up at the sky, for example. And then the whole point of meditation is to let your mind wander and think about some other stuff, and then to kind of like manually bring it back to the original thing. And the more you go through that loop, the more you do that sort of cycle, you focus, and then you experience mind wandering, and then you bring your focus back. The more times you do that, the first of all, the quicker you'll do that, just automatically through your day, you'll be focusing on something, and then you'll get distracted, but then your mind will just kind of like automatically refocus, because what we do manually is what we train our bodies and brains to do automatically as well, because our bodies are wired to crave familiarity and do stuff that we have done in the past. So yeah, it's a great tool. And then I also just feel way more present and mindful after I've meditated, and like not just immediately afterwards, but also just in general in life. So that's great as well. I feel a lot better when I do it. I think it's a great tool for like mental health stuff and for happiness, if you want to call it that. It's not something that I really optimize for, like happiness, but I can definitely feel the impact that meditation has on it. So after the meditation, I go to the little, like a mountaintop, not like a real mountaintop, but like just like a big hill that we have here in the woods. That sort of from where you can overlook the forest and the town and everything. And I go there, I gaze at the star, I gaze at the moon a little bit, and then I basically make these videos, go for a walk and just spit some game to the boys, whatever is really on my mind that I want to talk about. Maybe I'll just walk you through my day like I'm doing right now, or maybe I'll be talking about something else stuff. So it just sounded like some other creature was there for a second. Maybe there's someone waiting for us, bro. We'll see. It's I don't think there are any animals in this forest, but like really there are some deer and some foxes maybe, but no big stuff. Although, yeah, this is really interesting because there are some tracks right here. We'll see. But yeah, either way. So I'll do these videos, and then yesterday I came back to where I live to do some gratitude journaling and some reading. I'm currently reading a book called Hard Times Create Strong Men. It's like a book on society in general and like how empires rise and fall, and how the modern world has kind of like fucked up this generation of men and stuff, like because there are so many men addicted to porn and video games and all these kinds of things, and a lot of men are not fulfilling their potential. And it's a really interesting book, man. Hard Times Create Strong Men by Stefan Arnio. And yeah, I'm reading it at the moment. So I did that yesterday, and then at 9 I had a call with one of the members of my community. I got like a free school community. It's kind of like a Discord server, but on steroids, like way better, way cooler, way nicer, way classier. And I basically was on a call with him, and we were going to talk about how to sort of fix his NoFap struggles, if you want to call it that. And so right now, I'm doing like free accountability for anyone who's like committed in the community. And so if you basically want me to personally hold you accountable on this journey, then you can join the community below. It's in the description. It's completely free, and you can shoot me a message, or I'll probably shoot you one, and we'll get in touch, see if it's a good fit. And yeah, man, I was talking to him, and he was an exchange student from where I live, actually, from Stockholm, from Sweden to like Spain, which was interesting. And then yeah, he said that he had struggled with NoFap since he was like about 15 years old and stuff, and he's 17 today. So yeah, we talked through some stuff, and we're doing daily calls and stuff. So yeah, man, it's gonna be really interesting following his journey. I'm super excited for him. And by the way, like, I think it's a great opportunity, man, because if I had someone like this to hop on daily accountability calls with, bro, I wouldn't have struggled with NoFap for as long as I did for like 2.5 years, bro. It would have been way better. So, man, if you want to check the community out, you can do that below. And there's also like a free 3-hour course on like NoFap there. So yeah, if you want, you can check that out. So basically, after the call, I read some more. I did some more, like, yeah, I just laid on my bed and read some Hard Times, Great Strong Men. It's a fucking really interesting book, man. And then at about 12, I had lunch with like my family stuff. We ate some. I'll put a picture up or some sort of B-roll, but like, I don't even remember what the fuck we ate. Something, something at least. And then after lunch, I kind of had a bit of a dip. I watched some like chess and stuff, because it's, chess is like a sport. It's not just like a game that you can play, but there's like a whole professional scene and everything. There's tournaments, and there's a like online website that you can play on, and it's kind of like a video game in a sense. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of an addiction for me the past like year or something like that. I've been a bit on and off, because like, I know that it's not conducive to my goals. I know that I'm not really gonna learn shit from it, and it's just like a fun way to spend time sometimes, But I end up kind of like rationalizing it sometimes. I have in the past, at least. And yesterday was an example of that. Just kind of like, I was a bit tired after the fucking food, and I just I was sat in the armchair and stuff, just watching some games on my phone and shit like that, and played some games of my own, which is not ideal, of course. But yeah, and then I also had an ice cream, which I'm not too against having some like bit of junk food sometimes, because I am bulking right now, and I'm on like 4,000 calories a day, and so I want to get that in. And so if that's the only way to do it, then I'll do that. But it definitely wasn't as intentional as I wanted it to be in that case. I don't just want to be eating like fucking, junk food like that at random. I want it to be like more calculated and so on. And there was definitely stuff that I could have had instead that would have been better. That still would have given me the calories, but more protein and just less processed, like fucking sugar and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of like the only L of yesterday when I wasn't really too productive. But after that, I started reading again, and then at about 2-3 p.m. I did some NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, aka yoga nidra. It's kind of like a form of meditation, but instead of focusing on the mindfulness aspect of it, like presence and focus and that kind of stuff, you instead focus on like regeneration and getting more energy back and that kind of stuff. So you basically just lie down on your bed, or you sit down on the couch or something, and then you have like your headphones on, or at least that's the way I do it, and you listen to like an instructor, like a guide, who tells you to like what kind of stuff to think about, what kind of stuff to visualize. And I follow Dr. Andrew Huberman's protocol. I think he's great. He's like a scientist. He's a big guy on social media as well. I think he's phenomenal. And yeah, I listen to his protocol, and it's kind of like the point of NSDR is to kind of like bring your attention to different parts of your body, and to sort of visualize, for example, your your ankle and really try to like feel the sensation that you have in your ankle, and really bring your attention to specific points. And then you sort of walk up your entire body in your mind, from your feet, like the bottom of your feet, then to your feet, then to your ankles, and then to your shins and your calves and your thighs and your waist and your abdomen and your chest and arms and shoulder and neck and face and the back of your head and so on. And then I did that. I was doing it, but then somehow I ended up falling asleep because I had slept really poorly the previous night and stuff. And yeah, it was really fucking interesting because it was like the night before, I basically went to bed at my normal, maybe like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. But I was only able to fall asleep at like 11:30 because there was like a lot of commotion in the house. My mom was she was a bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. We had like a bit of an argument like a bit earlier as well, and she like confiscated my air conditioner, which I use to like cool the air down and sort of have some white noise when I sleep so that I can sleep better and stuff, because I sleep quite early and there's still going to be people in the house, so I want to have some white noise that the air conditioner can provide and stuff. So, and basically since I didn't have that, since she's hidden it somewhere, I don't even know where the fuck it is, I wanted to have my windows open to get some cool air inside and to get maybe some white noise from like from like just outside noises, you know. And you know, it's winter here in Sweden right now. I live in Sweden, in Stockholm, and so it's like there's a fuck ton of snow, and there's like, I think there's a few degrees, like, yeah, maybe like 3, 4, 5 negative degrees right now, like negative 3, 4, 5 degrees Celsius, basically around the clock, maybe a bit colder than that even. And so for me, when I have that, basically the entire house gets like a bit cooled down and it gets a bit cold. And my mom seems to be really sensitive to that kind of stuff, and so she basically started like banging on my door and like knocking on my door and fucking shouting and stuff, Leo, yes, you know, all that kind of fucking bullshit. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm gonna deal with that. But yeah, so I wasn't really able to have a proper night of sleep the night before yesterday, and so when I was doing my NSDR, I accidentally fell asleep for like 2 hours, from like 2:30, 3 p.m. to like 5 p.m. And I'm supposed to be eating at 4 p.m. and then going straight to the gym and get there like maybe 4:35. And so I wasn't able to do that because I just fell asleep for some reason. And instead I was only able to do maybe 2/3 of my usual workout, or like 3/4 probably. And yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm gonna have to fix that, of course. It was really unprofessional, even though I don't think that doesn't matter. I don't want to make any excuses for what happened. I want to take full responsibility, so I'll fix that. But yeah, either way, I went to the gym. I did some shoulders, some chest, some neck and triceps as well. So kind of like a push workout, but with neck as well. I really like training neck because I think it makes you look a lot more like masculine and stuff. And if you think that's insecure, then like fuck you, honestly. Nah, but for real though, it's like, you know, have you seen those pictures with like guys that have their neck like shrunken, and then you compare that to the actual picture of them, like with their actual full neck? They look way fucking just skinnier and flabbier and less intimidating, and just more like a boy rather than a man, you know? So I like training my neck. And then also it's just good having like a strong neck for shit. I've done some martial arts in the past, and for that you want to have a strong neck to kind of like mitigate punches that you get to your head and stuff. But yeah, either way, I did the workout, and then I came back home and I had some more food, and I did I did like an accountability call with the guys in my group, in my community. And by the way, I forgot to mention I did one at 1 p.m. also with with the guy as well. So that was really nice. He's become like a really good friend of mine and stuff, even though we've never met. But we've had a number of calls at this point, and it's just fun, you know, hopping on the calls with the boys, calling him out. Like, have you jacked off today, bro? You gotta tell me the fucking truth, right? You know. So yeah. And then I hopped on another call at 7 p.m. with a few guys, and it was great. We had a really nice chat, lovely chat, and yeah, none of the guys had jacked off that day, so that was great to hear. And yeah, bro. Then I ate some more and stuff because I had to get like 2,500, 3,000 calories in like after the gym, because I didn't eat anything prior to the gym, which was really interesting. So yeah, man, I did that, and then I went to bed at about 9 p.m. And then I read a bit more in bed, which I like to do to sort of fall asleep faster and stuff. Because for me, if I try to fall asleep like right after I just like stared at a fucking screen, like you know, like after I've been on the call, it's usually a lot harder for me to fall asleep that way than if I just read a little bit in bed and stuff. So I did that, journaled a little bit about my day, and so on. I really like journaling on my phone in terms of like summarizing my day for myself. When I do gratitude journaling, I do it on paper, obviously, because that's kind of like the point. But with like summarizing the day for me, which I do every single night, I just write down some stuff like what I've done today, and kind of like, you know, notes to my future self. And I do it in like a note-taking app, like a software. It's called Notion, so that I can look back on it in like years time from now. So I do that as well. And then I read like a chapter of a fiction book series that I've read since 5th grade. It's called Warriors by Aaron Hunter, and I absolutely love it. It's actually about like fucking wild cats in clans that are fighting, and they're hunting and, you know, disputing over territories, and they're going on adventures and journeys. And I fell in love with it when I was like 11 years old, 10 years old, and I haven't fallen out of love with it at 18 years old now. Even I think I've just fallen in more love with it, to be honest. Yeah, it's a great series, and I like to do it because I can sort of log out for the day and sort of stop thinking about all the usual tasks and duties that I have in my normal life and stuff. So yeah, it's really nice like that. And then I went to bed. I think I went to bed at like, I think it ended up being at like fucking 10 p.m., which is really not great. I have to fix that. I have to make sure that I actually go to bed at 8 p.m., which is my bedtime. And yeah, but although I do kind of believe in the mantra of saying that like you don't need more sleep, you only need a better reason to wake up, to some extent. Like you obviously need some amount of sleep, but like I don't really want to be sleeping more than I have to in order to get the like maximum amount of gains in terms of the gym. Because the thing is, I will never be able to work harder than right now, you know? I will never be able to like push as hard as I can in my work as I can right now, because I'm young, I'm 18 years old. Maybe in a couple of years I won't need as much sleep because my body might still be developing, who knows. But like in my younger years, I want to make sure that I actually utilize the work capacity that I have, and the horsepower, the mental horsepower that I have, my like processing power and stuff. And I don't want to be sleeping away my fucking youth. I can do that when I'm older, you know. I want to be grinding like hell when I'm young. And yeah, man, I want to spread this message. I want to grow my channel. I want to grow the community. I want more guys to start resisting lust, and I want to document this journey. And yeah, bro, I think it's a beautiful journey that we're on. And for me also, like accountability, like my sort of primary channel of accountability is actually these videos where I have to come and tell the truth about like lusting, you know. And so basically yesterday I didn't really have any urges to like jack off. I haven't really been close to doing that shit in a while, but I mean, I did of course have some like visualizations and stuff like that. I remember I was reading on my bed at like maybe 11 a.m. Hard Times, Great Strong Men, and I was just having like fucking mad urges. Like my cock was like fucking titanium through that shit, you know. And Yeah, I just had this like mental visualization of having like two bitches on either side, which yeah, I'm just being honest, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with having like sexual desire as a young man at all. I think it's completely natural. I don't think that should be frowned upon at all. So yeah, man, I welcome them. I think it's just about resisting them when they come, just making sure that you're not indulging in them, that you're not changing how you act based on these emotions. So yeah, bro. Yeah, man. And after that, I had a bit of trouble, like, not glancing at like fucking these girls at the gym. I'm not gonna lie, because they're all fucking dressed in lingerie at this point, basically, and it's that's interesting, man. But yeah, I'll probably end up stopping that shit because it's a bit gay to like be glancing over like that, But yeah, those are kind of like the NoFap news of yesterday as well. I didn't really have any clear-cut like urges to jack off. I wasn't ever close and stuff, and I didn't have any at nighttime really. I fell asleep quite early, like quickly and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of yesterday for me, and it was a great day. Like it was really productive. Maybe like, I didn't do my best during like the middle of the day with like the chest and that kind of stuff. I got to stop that shit immediately. And yeah, also later in the afternoon when I sort of fell asleep, that kind of stuff. That was also a bit unfortunate, which stems from the fact that I didn't set up my sleeping schedule well enough, like the night before and everything. So yeah. But yeah, bro, that's kind of the summary of yesterday. And yeah, bro, we're staying strong on NoFap, resisting the urges, resisting the temptations of the devil. And yeah, man, if you're on this journey alongside me, I would love to see you in the community, bro. I'll love to have more people on the calls and who are like holding, everyone accountable. Because the thing is, I could hold, like, with the guys that we have, I could hold them accountable individually, right? On like calls and stuff. But I think it's way more powerful to have loads of guys on the same call simultaneously. Because then imagine you have literally like 20 guys that you have to sort of speak to every single day, and you have to tell them the truth of whether or not you have jacked off since the last meeting. Like, at a certain point, you're gonna stop jacking off because you don't want to fucking embarrass yourself in front of the people that you like respect and admire and want to impress on some level, right? Like your tribe. And so I think it's like you would be doing me a fucking great service if you join the community, and you would be doing everyone else a great service as well, because the more guys we get in, provided that you're actually committed on this journey and that you're actually going to try your hardest, the better it gets for everyone, because then everyone gets more accountability, And so, yeah, bro, you can join the free community below, and we'll have a chat. I fucking love this journey, bro. I hope you're going as hard as I am on it. It's a beautiful path that we're on. We're going to conquer this shit, man. And the world is up for grabs. May Starkland light your path, bro. Always. Remember who you are. A light in the mist. Keep following the light path, my friend. Yeah, bro. Fuck no. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? Holy, my ass is out, bro. But yeah. That's who the fuck we are, bro. That's who the fuck we are. Ain't nobody fucking out this time. It might be 6 a.m. or 6:15 at this point, but like, I was out at like 4:30 this morning, bro. Ain't nobody out at this point, bro. Like, nobody's out. Nobody's like us, Join the fucking community, bro. I'll see you inside.